We are in the book of Ephesians, where Paul writes a letter to the church of Ephesus, which is in current country Turkey, which is also where Galatians was. Galatia was a region in Turkey. So he's actually in prison in Rome when he writes this letter to them. And there are a lot of things that are similar as we read in Romans and Corinthians and Galatians about grace, and we're new in Christ, and same things mentioned in Ephesians to them. But I like to look at the things that are unique in each book that adds to what we already know. And in the book of Ephesians, what I find the biggest thing is spiritual warfare. And there's also some good information on marriage. So that's what I'm going to cover. In chapter 2, Paul writes, God made you alive who were once dead to sins, in which you walked according to the drum of the prince of the power of the air of this world, the devil, who works in the sons of disobedience, among whom also we all once were by nature, children of wrath, just as the others. So Satan is using people, especially the disobedient ones, to cause friction, division, to kill, steal, and destroy, to aggravate us, to stress us, cause anxiety and depression. And so that's what we deal with. And I'm paraphrasing when I'm reading these things, kind of summarized a little more modernized and shorter and stuff. So, but yeah, it does say that the devil is prince of the power of the air of this world. So how do we fight that? Well, in Ephesians, we also get the answer to that, and that's in chapter 6, about the armor of God. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand firm against the strategies of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood people, but we wrestle against evil rulers and powers of darkness, against evil spirits in the heavenly places. That's what's behind the sins and disobedience of the world. So therefore, dress in the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day and stand firm. Stand your ground with a belt of truth. So we got to stand in truth. A breastplate of righteousness. Shoes of the gospel of peace. And above all, take the shield of faith to block the attacks of the devil. So above all, faith. Put on the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word or the Bible. Praying always in the Spirit. Always stay alert and be persistent in your prayer for the attacks on all believers. Pray for the church every day. So that's what it says about spiritual warfare in Ephesians. And then also on the marriage part, submit to one another. If you heard, like it says, oh, wives, submit to your husband. No, it says submit to one another. But he has two different ways. Bless you, my kitty. Two different ways. He says the man is to love the wife, submit by loving her, even if that goes against kind of nature, and he want to be the bigger and the macho and the stronger. No, it says submit to your wife by loving her. And wives, submit to your husbands in respect. So he mentions the wives first, probably because we're, smarter and wiser. And so it says, wives, submit your own husbands as to the Lord. And how do we submit to the Lord? Through faith, respect, submission, obedience, surrender, trust. The husband is the head of the wife, and just like the Christ is the head of the church. So therefore, let the wives be to their own husbands in the same way as the church is to Christ. Be submissive in everything. In everything. Husbands, love your wife. Make her holy and clean and without blemish. And it says, if a husband loves himself, he will also love his wife. And the wife must respect her husband. That's my donkeys. So Emerson Eggridge did a great study on this particular area of the Bible in Ephesians on marriage. And he did this 6 DVD video series Bible study and travels around the country. And it's really, really good. And he says, well, why doesn't it say for the man to respect the wife and for the wife to love the husband? Why is it the other way around? Well, because it's not hard for the wife to love her husband. We are very loving by nature. And it's not hard for man to act respectfully if he wants to. It kind of comes in the man's nature. What's hard is for the man to love the wife in submission and for the wife to respect the husband in submission. So he points that out, and also points out that if you're going in circles, a husband and wife are going in circles, fighting all the time, that it usually will be that the wife is doing and acting and speaking disrespectful somehow, showing some kind of lack of respect or disrespect towards the husband, and he's responding by unloving actions and words. And so if he says something really unloving, think, did I just do something disrespectful? Or if she acts very disrespectful to him, that he might stop and think, did I just say or do something that she felt was very unloving? And that could be the root of a lot of issues. Usually in couples counseling, if the husband has done something bad or wrong, and I say, well, how did she seem to feel? She was really angry. And I said, well, that's because she's hurt. She's showing anger, which is like almost like an ultimate disrespect, but it's because she's hurt. And so, yeah, it's good stuff. The Bible knows its stuff.